The people who killed that SSP, we know them by name, but where do we get them?
On January 17, 2021, Deputy Head of Operations at the GSU, Emadau Tebakol, fell to a bandit's bullet. The rampage that had been reported in Kapedo and the larger Tiaty had hit rock bottom. The government immediately scaled up operations in the area to weed out suspected bandits who have constantly instilled fear among the locals, stealing livestock and killing both civilians and security officers. There has been an active security operation in the area, and Tiaty is now some kind of a ground zero. Access is denied to persons considered irrelevant to the operations. Several tight police roadblocks are erected in all routes heading to the region. Journalists would only depend on information from government to know the goings-on there. After 4 months of incessant cries of a grueling humanitarian situation in the area, we decided to take a chance and access Tiaty, becoming the first media crew to have a first-hand feel of what has become of the area months into the operation. But as expected, this was not a mean feat. No sooner had we hit the road past Marigat towards Chemolingot than our efforts were thwarted by this police roadblock right before Loruk. We were asked to turn back. We identified ourselves, even showing our staff badges, but were turned away. This made it even clearer that journalists were unwanted here. What is it that needed to be kept away from the scrutiny of the public? While negotiating with the police, we witnessed as people from either side of the barricade were stopped from moving, some of them heading to nearby shopping centers to purchase essential products. It has been reported that even humanitarian aid, including foodstuff, has previously been barred from entering Tiaty.
The movement in and out of the larger Tiaty as we speak now is managed, but it's not stopped. Anybody who says stopped is not true. Any humanitarian assistance must be targeted, and we have to know to whom the food is going to be taken. As I said, in a war you use all sorts of tactics. It's not my business to feed people who are fighting me. No.
Dejected, we turned back. Luckily for us, we were aware of a different route, although dangerous in nature. A journey that would have taken 3.5 hours would now take us more than 6 hours through this rocky-filled, bushy and abandoned new route. This is a clear picture of what access in and out of the region looks like at the moment. We took the road less traveled, rough, dangerous, and one that would require a powerful vehicle. At Chemolingot Center, the headquarters of Tiaty, the grim reality of an intense security operation hits you. The town is now just but a skeleton of its former self, as shops, eateries and other small businesses are shut. The reason for this shutdown is that Marigat, where most of the businesses get their stock from, is now inaccessible.
Tangu hiyo banditry attacks ifanyike both sides of Kapedo and sides of kama pale, operation ilianza kufanyika huku. Kwa kwanza walipeleka sides za Kapedo, but ileta furugu kwa zaidi za matao. Kwenda kwa targeted areas zenye bandits wako. So wakakuja wakaleta na roadblocks, wakafunga barabara. At the same time, ile information wamekuwa wakipeana kama maaskari, hawapeani ile information nzuri ile kwamba hii inafanyika, hii ifanyiki.
Chemolingot is the center from which 6 persons were abducted from a restaurant Kamba early this year at the onset of the police operation. The 6, who included an IEBC official, a TSC staff and a medical student, were later found dead in Arabal area. The government has denied responsibility of the abductions. There has been no arrests yet in relation to the murders.
There is no proper strategy. They hit anybody who will be found on the way, without considering any criminality issues. Hiyo ndio ilikuwa the worst, hao watu kuuliwa.
Who has talked about excesses? If anything, it's the government that's supposed to say that some of these bandits have committed serious atrocities against even government officials. And if you were to say that it's tit for tat, then it will be a disaster in that place. Because the amount of ammunition that we have cannot be compared with these ragtag characters on the ground there. So we've not committed any atrocities, and we've not seen any bombs raining on people or people being shot at indiscriminately. We've not done that. As government, we had no business, yeah, killing those people had no reason whatsoever. And as government, we believe in due process. Yeah, arrest people, let them face the law. You don't just go and then which government, honestly, if it was the police, that you'd get somebody from Chemolingot and then kill them and throw their bodies at Loru.
Because of the abductions, this area is now soaked up in terror. So much so that no one is willing to openly and freely speak to media. Several kilometers from Chemolingot and into the depth of Tiaty, and in the company of a local who preferred to remain unidentified, we hoped to find the gun-trotting warriors and engage with them. But where previously the gunmen would be spotted, now only had goats and sheep as the only sign of life. Either the operation has sent them far into the bushes, or they've temporarily dropped their guns and are hiding in plain sight.
The bandits have moved basically from the larger Tiaty into Laikipia, especially the Laikipia Nature Conservancy. We want to get them back into Baringo so we can now sort out our issues with them from their own homes.
The unguarded goats we earlier ran to now seem lucky to be alive. As we came by cow carcasses splattered across the bushes, everything here seems to be losing life.
You fire at a police officer and hide behind a bull, hide behind a cow. What's going to happen? Sometimes animals are killed in crossfire. So if somebody is killing police officers and is using animals as a shield, what's going to happen to those animals? When you are firing back, they'll be caught in the crossfire. Then they'll say the police have killed animals. No, it's them who have killed animals.
Since the operation began in January, there has been relative peace in the region, save for the period of about 20 days when the government temporarily stopped the operation to give room for dialogue as requested by local leaders. This window for dialogue saw several cattle rustling raids, prompting security agencies to go back to Tiaty, casting the operation net into areas of Laikipia and Turkana counties. So far, the gun and uniform belonging to slain GSU officer Emadau Tebakol have been recovered and the killer has been identified.
Hii kitu ni kama kuna watu wanafinyiliwa chini. Kiuchumi sisi tunafinyiliwa chini kwa sababu wanaona at least watu wanaanza kutengeneza katown kama Chemolingo sasa yenye mashule quality schools zimeanza kujengwa. So kuna watu ni kama watu wanaona hii shule hii business center itakuja kwa power zingine, so wanakanyagia.
Now we are at Nginyang Livestock Market. This is arguably the largest livestock market in Tiaty constituency. Roughly 150 heads of cattle have been sold here on a Monday, that on its highest peak. And I'm told by the residents here that for the past 5 months, or rather 4 months since the beginning of 2021, this market has been closed. So far, the outside world locked from Tiaty constituency and the residents of Tiaty locked from leaving this particular constituency because an operation is ongoing in a zone that Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembeya, in his own words, said that currently they are dealing with terrorists.
Kwa upande wa Nginyang, kunakuwa na Nginyang market. It's a very big market. Sasa unapata kama on Mondays, time yenye wanafanyanga, hakuna market, wamefunga. Juu watu wakikuja, askari wanakuja wanawatawanya watu na biashara hivyo watu.
People will even sell bullets. Risasi. Wanaanika kama njugu namna hii. And they sell firearms on the market during the day. Did they tell you that? And sometimes you can even go to that market and identify your stolen livestock. Kama bull even will not be given. Actually, you can even be killed by the fact you're saying this is my bull, it was stolen in Samburu. They can even kill you. Were those markets really?
Pokot 90% ni wazuri, watu wazuri. Hiyo 10% kuna watu wakora. So hiyo 10%, does that percentage guarantee to finish all the society? or all the ethnic group.
Lamentation corner and hardline positions should be reduced if we must move on together. And if the government pinpoints that there is some illegal weapons here, no need to protect, because these guys know. They know how to detect where the weapons are.
Abandoned homes dot the route from Chemolingot through Chesitet, Ameyan and into Kapedo. At Kapedo Center, food aid from well-wishers is what the locals cling on, as the 88-kilometer road through Ameyan to Marigat, where they shop, is infested with bandits. A police roadblock is at the bridge right at the entrance of the village, with several camps for security agencies within the vicinity. The route from Loruk to Chemolingot has a minimum 3 police roadblocks, each manned by at least 10 officers drawn from the RDU and the GSU. Rift Valley Regional Commissioner George Natembea says that on the downside, this area has illegal firearms equivalent to the number of households. According to the 2019 census, Tiaty has a total of 12,153 households, to mean that this is a number of guns in the wrong hands here. In the midst of this whole operation, the group at a crossroads are professionals, who have now become a target of both the police and criminals.
Anybody like Pokot amekuwa bandit na sisi kama professionals tunajua sisi zote si bandits. Bandits ni watu wachache. Nani atatulinda? Tunaambia serikali iko. Nasema serikali ipi iko, si wako town na wako huko, wajui maisha yetu iko aje. Unajua hata watu wenye wamesoma ni wachache wenye wanakaa huku, kwa sababu wanajua tu hapa ni riski. Sababu kama bandit hata kuua, polisi pia ataweza kuua. Kwa sababu anadhani wewe uko saidi ya bandit. Bandit anadhani wewe professional wako upande wa serikali.
Let there be ceasefire. Let there be return of illegal guns. Let there people return to their own homes. Let there be committees that people can sit together and champion and solve their own problems.
For decades, Tiaty region has known no peace. Approximately 21 security operations have been conducted here. The persistent volatility and insecurity is possibly calling for a change of tack, including a deliberate attempt at critical development if the vice is to end unsustainable peace achieved in troubled Tiaty. Ibrahim Karanja, KTN News.